It's a blast from the past in West Houston, a museum that lets you take a peek into the storied history of our city through very old photographs.
And as Lauren Freeman found, if it weren't for the vision of one man, these images might have been lost forever.
Stepping into Sloane's Gallery is like taking a walk back in time to Houston nearly a century ago.
We have a great cross-section of Houston life in the 1920s and the 1930s when Houston was really, really booming. A lot was going on. The oil industry, life at home, downtown, just a little bit of everything.
Filled from floor to ceiling with black and white images of downtown Houston, the Museum District, and even the oil field that later became the Houston Astrodome. Sloane Gallery offers visitors a unique glimpse of Houston's history, discovered, out of all places, a recycling company back in 1989.
My father ran across his vintage collection as it was being destroyed for the silver content. There was almost 30,000 negatives, and he was able to acquire about 10%, which is about 3,000, but they burned the rest.
Although Sloane does not know the names of all the photographers responsible for these images, he says some were captured by Calvin Wheat, Houston's premier photographer of the 19th and 20th century. And sprinkled amongst the thousands of snapshots are those of some of Houston's most famous faces.
I've got a picture or two of Howard Hughes and Glenn McCarthy, who did the Shamrock Hotel, and Governor Sterling, and all these men who made so much money in our community, but put it right back in our community for the betterment of everybody.
And if you're a native Houstonian, you might just find a piece of your own family history hanging on the walls.
Sometimes an individual will come in and say, that's my grandfather, or that's my grandmother.
But it's the images that show Houston's spirit of giving that Sloane says still amaze him most.
Today we see the super feasts and all the grand meals that are served to the needy in Houston, and there's a historical precedent for that. Groups like the Cynthia Gray Milk Fund Group, who raised milk for the poor children of Houston, specifically to stem the tide of tuberculosis. Community chest drives, which are now the United Way. I have photographs that illustrate these, and they're just wonderful, wonderful imagery.
For more information on Sloane Gallery and to view a slideshow of more of these images from the gallery, you can go to click2houston.com. Lauren Freeman, KPRC, Local 2.